Hi, my name is Annabelle Lopez Ochoa and I'm a freelance choreographer. I started choreographing when I was 11 years old in school, and at that time it became my passion already. So whenever I had an opportunity in companies to do a workshop, I would be raising my fingers and saying, yeah, I'm doing it. And so in Scipino Ballet we had a yearly workshop, and the director Ed Ruber gave me an opportunity, after seeing 2 of my works, gave me an opportunity to make a small piece for Tools, the Tools program. And then from there on, some schools were asking for my work, and I did the workshop of the Dutch National Ballet in 2002. And that piece really opened doors. That was the piece before after that was later invited at Fall for Dance in New York. And then the ball went rolling from, one little piece of 7 minutes into pieces for, international companies. It was a class just before the Christmas break. Our teacher came in and we were standing at the bar, being really scared of her. And she was like, no, today we are going to do something else. I'm going to leave you for 1 hour. You choose a friend. This is the music. The pianist will play it once in a while for you. It's 1 minute long and you'll make movements in space. And I had no idea what she meant. It was very abstract. So we fooled around, we played around for like an hour, and then we came up with this very simple dance. And I loved it. I just loved the fact of being in the studio and creating something and then presenting it and connecting with an audience watching it. And I thought, if I could do that for the rest of my life, that would make me the happiest person on earth. So I always try to find opportunities to feel 11 years old. That's basically, my aim. So yes, I do prefer the studio time than actually the actual performance time when I choreograph. I think as a choreographer, that's the real communication. And hopefully when it comes on stage, you're hoping it relates also to the people in the audience. I knew already from a young age that I first had to have a dance career to understand how to create dances, to understand, how to communicate with dances, how it works to tell the stories into movements. But already from a young age, even in school, I felt more comfortable at the other side of the studio. And I always, liked to coach dancers and to make them look beautiful more than me. So as a dancer, I would be busy the spacing and lighting cues that were too late on stage. I would be aware of the whole thing more than me dancing. So it was a very natural step to stop. Actually, at 29, 30, I decided to stop, and that was the best decision of my life. And I'm happy to put people on stage and to make them shine. I'm very proud of you guys. More than when I would have a good performance, the applause wouldn't reach me. It just would be like, well, I just did what I had to do. But when dancers are looking beautiful and people are, amazed by them, and when they're dancing my piece, then it's just like I'm on a cloud for a couple of days. Well, in the beginning, I remember that I was my first few pieces, I was very embarrassed whenever they were performed. So I loved the studio time and I was like really confident. And then once there was an audience, I was dying. And that fades away. There's a moment where you have to trust your dancers that they are the vehicle to transport and transcend the idea you have. It's not anymore your piece once it goes on stage. It's the dancer's piece, and you're trying to make them ready to tell their stories, not my story, because otherwise it just doesn't, it's not interesting. So yeah, I had my range of bad reviews, and I have a thick skin. At least it's thicker than when I started 7 years ago. And I think it's, I have an opinion about everything I see. Dancers have an opinion, so of course dance critics have also their opinion. And I respect them. Yeah, you can't, you have to continue because you believe that it does connect with an audience, and with the dancers if they enjoy your piece, and the critics, well, they're there to do their jobs. Yes, when I don't see myself anymore in the choreography, when dancers are so on top of the steps of what it means that it looks like they've created it. That's, for me, the most fulfilling moment as a choreographer. It's not mine anymore, and then I'm ready to leave and I don't have to come back. And so I'm always trying to give as much information possible to the dancer that they can continue, because a piece always evolves when it's on stage. You can't, keep it in a box, and you have to accept that dancers change some movements into a certain way. But if they understand the idea behind, the intention, then it's always fine. If they didn't understand, then you will feel uncomfortable with those changes. So yeah, that's like, it happens rarely, but when it happens, sometimes on 10 shows it happens once, that you have the impression that the dancers created that at that moment, then it's cool. I don't think I have one style, because I love to adapt to the environment I'm invited to. So I work as well as, with actors, big bellies, can't move, and I love to make them move, and I love to work with, incredible dancers who have all possibilities. Of course, I will make different work on those two different creatures on Earth. So I don't know. I think, yeah, the best is to disappear, I think, the most, and to look for the essence of the performer. And a friend of mine was, because I'm invited in a lot of companies and you can't always choose your dancers. So sometimes you're stuck because they're not like you want them to be. But a friend taught me, there's always a jewel in every one of them, even in the weakest dancer. It's just up to you to find it during those 3 weeks you have. So now I'm less frustrated when I don't get immediately what I want. It's just like I'm investigating and observing, observing the dancers while they work, to see where's their jewel, what is it that they don't show me immediately because they want to be perfect, and perfection is not interesting. It's the uniqueness of people. So I try every time I make a piece to try to see and highlight that uniqueness. So I think that's why all my pieces are so different, because every time I work in another company. Sometimes it's time. The economy doesn't help right now to give a choreographer time to dig into a piece, to dig into the people performing the piece. So you have to make stuff really fast, and you see it perform, and sometimes you think, if I would have had 3-4 days more, we would have gotten there. But you just have to accept the rules of our times, that there is not enough money to to create the time for you to create beautiful pieces. So that's frustrating. I love to see a lot of different companies. So going from Dave St. Pierre, who investigates pornography and nudity on stage, to the Dutch National Ballet performing Giselle. And one thing is not better than the other, it's just different. It's true that when I choreograph, really in the period that I choreograph, I cannot watch another dance piece. Also because I'm going to a theater, I see a stage, and that could be my stage, so I don't even see the performance. I'm just imagining what I've been doing in the studio. I'm imagining it already on stage, and then the light coming there, and then when I see a light, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, so I'm not there to watch the work of other people. So then I'd rather go to museums and to plays to see movies, read a book, than watch other dance. And but when I have a free time, then I'm absorbing everything that's in the world right now, and also the underground performances are really cool. Well, Scapino is not a huge company, but it was a company that gave me incredible dances and a stage. So I think the footage, the video recording of your work is very essential for a young choreographer. You have to archive your work the best possible, not with a camera in the corner, because your dance will look bad, and already you lose so much quality and energy only because it's in two-dimensional suddenly. So I would advise any young choreographer to acquire a very good camera or find people that could do a good recording, and yeah, just keep doing your passion, at any time of the day. It's not a job, a 9-to-5 job. It's, if you have a studio free on a Sunday between 7 and 10 at night, you should take it. And if people are asking you in Korea, in a small thing, you should take it, because you have to practice. Talent is not enough. You have to practice, and you get to know better how to make dances, how to create, how to use the space, the music, but also how to communicate with dancers. And with groups, that's even more difficult, it's a lot of psychology when you have a group of 20 dancers in front of you waiting for what's the next step, and you can't lose it. And so yeah, it's a lot of practice. So you have to say yes to everything that's coming, and then maybe one day you can select what you won't do anymore. I don't know. I think other people could answer this question better, but I know that people know. It's kind of clear that I like spending time in the studio. I like to, I think the word in English is tinkering, making like what he's doing. I just like that more than the success and the glamour of having an opening night. That's terrible. It's actually the worst part of the whole process. And I think I'm enthusiastic about working with people, and maybe that projects. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Maybe you can answer that. Yeah, there's a part to it, especially when you're starting, emerging. You have to get your name out there, and you have to sometimes work. Because in the studio, that's no work, that's fun, that's the fun part. And the work is, writing grants, sending out your bio or your DVD to people. That's the work, and you have to do it. Otherwise, nobody's gonna come and knock at your door and say, we like you. It just, it's part of the job. It's getting easier now because I see it as being, a game. You have to play that game. But I have to do it less than 7 years ago, because I have now people have know my work and have heard of me, so they come and ask through internet, through an email, if I want to work with them. And before, nobody knew me, so I had to send it out. But also I think in the States, the money comes from private people, so you want to thank them. For it to happen. In Holland, I wouldn't have to do that, because it's all, the money from the government, and there's this percentage for the arts, and all the taxpayers. I would have to say thank you to all the taxpayers to make it possible for us to create dances. But here it's like really people who believe in dance, and they're giving you that money. They worked for it, and then they're giving it to you. That's, if I can thank somebody like that, I would. If that's networking, yes, then I do network. I do thank people for that money and the opportunities. So. Well, first of all, a good asset is don't be lazy. Work 24 hours, 24/7 to do that job. Some people, are lucky to be in a big company, and it's all there. And then they have a name, and then it's easier for them to freelance. But when you start from scratch, all the hours of your day are actually building up building opportunities, only that. Because of course, you have the opportunity, but then you have to make it true. I mean, it has to be talent and hard work and all that things. But yeah, don't be lazy.